Well, good evening, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, how many of the kids, especially, maybe some of the adults, how many of you are super excited that it snowed today? Yeah. Oh, some adults. Okay, some adults are excited. How many were not excited that it snowed today? A couple. Okay. I'm really excited that it snowed today, not because I'm going to go clean off my car afterwards if it hasn't all melted, but because we're talking about Advent today, and I have to admit, I was kind of feeling like, oh, it's a little early to talk about Advent. It's not snowing, like I'm not really in the Advent mood yet. And then it snowed, and it was perfect. So I'm kind of grateful that it snowed because it gets us in that mindset of Advent. And last time we met, so a week or two ago, right, we were talking about all the promises that God made to us and how he keeps all of those promises. Advent is all about God keeping promises, all about God fulfilling all the promises that he made to us. So that's going to be our focus for today. We're going to start off, as we often do, with a song. And this song is kind of a Christmas song, but it's really more of an Advent song, because it reminds us of all of the promises that God has made and all the reasons that we need God to fulfill those promises. We need those promises to be fulfilled because the world is pretty dark. The world is pretty dark and we need a light. And this song is called The Light of the World. So I hope you enjoy this song, and it gives you a chance to pray about Advent. Jesus, we know that we are in a dark world. We're in need of a Savior. We're in need of you. As we approach this time of Advent, we ask that you would help us to await you with hope and with confidence, and that we would seek out time with you in prayer and really prepare for your coming. And we ask all of this in your name, Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, before we really get into Advent, I think we need to do a little bit of review, because we need to review what happened last time so we remember why we need Advent, why we need a Savior, right? So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and I'm going to see if one of our young people might be able to answer those questions. And there are some prizes, so you will, if you volunteer, you will come away with something to take home. So, the first question for you, this is a fill in the blank. So the last word, you're going to have to fill in the blank, okay? God created humans to be special and different from all other creatures. He created us in his, don't shout it out, raise your hand. Let's see, I'm going to come over here. He created us in his, Kennedy?
Image.
Very good, image. Okay, good job. I'm going to carry these around with me now. You get one of these. Try to make sure you just get one. There you go. Okay, the next question is, what does it mean that we are created in God's image? This isn't just a fill in the blank. This one needs a little explanation. So, what does it mean that we are created in God's image? Isaac, what do you think?
It means that we are creating God's image because God created us in his mind, so we shall never be judged about that.
Okay, so he created us in his mind. How are we like God? That's another way of asking it.
We're humans.
Okay, we're humans. How is that like God? What about us is like God? Do you remember? We have a soul. Good, okay, good. You can have one of those. Okay, so we have a soul. Can anybody else think of anything that, because we have a soul, we can do? I'll come over here. Because we have a soul, what else makes us like God?
We are powerful.
We are powerful in certain ways. So we can, okay, one more person. I'm going to come over. You guys have me really getting exercise on the other side of the room. How are we powerful? What else can we do?
Go to heaven.
Okay, we can go to heaven, and that is because we are able to love. I'm out of prizes. I'll come back to you, Roman. We are able to love. We can make choices. We have will, and we can think. We have an intelligence, right? Okay. So we were created in God's image, but what happened when Adam and Eve disobeyed God? What changed? Okay, Bella, I'm coming to you. What changed when we disobeyed God?
They hid.
Yeah.
And they disobeyed God.
And they hid afterwards because they were ashamed, right? They had done something bad, so they hid. I didn't pick up more prizes. I'll come back to you, too. Anything else that happened after? Someone who hasn't answered yet, Manny.
He brought sin into the world.
Yeah, they brought sin into the world. Good. Okay. So, how about the last question I'm going to ask right now, and this, we'll see if we can get someone else to answer this one. Who can recite the memory verse for this month? Has anybody been working on that? Anybody been working on that verse? Not right now? Okay, maybe I'll ask one other question then. Maybe we'll give you another couple weeks to work on the verse, and I'll ask you next time we get together. How about, this is a good one. This is an easy one. It's a one-word answer. When people make covenants with God, many times the people broke their promises. Did God ever break his promises? I hope we can have lots of people answer this one. Oh, we've got an adult too! Well, I'm going to go to the young people first, but I'll come back to you, Aaron. Okay, Lizzie. Did God ever break his promise? No, that was a very solid no. Good. Yeah, good job, Aaron. Good job. Okay, So in a minute, when we have a little bit of a break, everyone who answered, I'll get you a prize. I do have, however, a bonus question, and this question was not necessarily discussed last time we met. I want to see what you guys think. So Advent is all about waiting for Jesus. I was talking about that before, right? We're waiting for Jesus to come. Now, we might ask ourselves the question, why are we waiting for Jesus? Didn't he come like 2,000 years ago? Didn't he already come? Why are we waiting for Jesus at Advent? Anybody have an idea about that? What do you think?
He never breaks his promises, and he said he would come back again.
That is a great answer, actually. Yeah, he said he would come back again, and he doesn't break a promise. That's great. And he said, yeah, so the second coming, right? We're waiting for him to come back again. So you're on my list for prizes. We're going to discuss how we prepare for Jesus today. That's really the focus for our entire time tonight. But before we get into that, we're going to play a little game. And for this game, I'm going to need 4 volunteers. Hold on. I'm going to need 1 volunteer who's in kindergarten through 2nd grade in that group. Then we're going to need 1 volunteer from about 3rd to 4th grade, 1 from 5th to 6th grade, and then a 7th or 8th grader, okay? So how about who would like to volunteer? I only need 1, though, from kindergarten through 1st or 2nd grade, kindergarten through 2nd grade. Okay, here, we got somebody over here who hasn't participated yet. Lincoln, you want to? Okay, come on up here. So we got a kindergartner. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so how about 3rd and 4th grade? Who in 3rd through 4th grade would like to, who hasn't participated yet? Did we have someone in the back raise their hand? No? He put his hand down? Okay. Oh, Maya, come on up here. 5th and 6th grade. Roman, you can come up. Or actually, no, you participated. Sorry. Lily, come on up. Okay, 7th and 8th graders. Who wants to participate? Do I have to pick somebody? Gabe, come on up. Come on up. Okay, so I'm going to talk to these guys for a minute, and then I'll let you all know what we're going to do. Okay, so each of you need a popsicle stick. You each need one of these. You have no idea. Ooh! Uh-oh, don't use those. They're going to go in your mouth. Don't use those. So, here, take one of those. Take one. Yeah, you're going to balance the dice on there. Okay, so, and you each get 6 of these, okay? I'll tell you. So, you can get those, and hold on, Lincoln. Okay, so. Yeah. So what you guys are going to do, and we're going to line up in the front here, you're going to stick this in your mouth and hold it tight in your teeth, okay? And then you're going to stack your dice up on here, and you have to see how long you can get it to stay, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so you guys stand up here, and I'm going to tell them what you're going to do. Just try your best. Okay, so we've got some people who I'm not sure that they wanted to volunteer now. What they're going to do is they're going to take a popsicle stick, and they're going to put it in their mouth, one end of it. Then they each have 6 dice. And they're going to stack them on the other end of the popsicle stick on top of each other. And we're going to see who can last the longest without the stack falling over. So, are you guys ready to try this? Okay, so you can go ahead and put the popsicle stick in your mouth and bite it nice and hard and make sure it's as flat as you can get it, right? Because you're going to stack the dice on there. So make sure it's nice and steady, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. When I say that, you can start stacking your dice on the tip. We'll see who can last the longest. If they fall off, you can pick them up and put them back on, but once you have a stack there of 6, once it falls over, then that's the end of your try, okay? But if you're 3 up and they fall off, you can start over again, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Very good. Oh, Gabe, they have to go on top of each other, Gabe. There you go. Okay. That would be much easier that way. And they have to go on the tip of the, there you go. Okay. Very good. Keep trying. If they fall off and you don't have 6 yet, keep trying. Uh-oh. Good, Maya. Keep trying. Maya's super close to getting 6. There we go, okay. Now see if you can last. Once you get it straight, you gotta take your hands off. Oh. Okay, eventually here I'm gonna have to start timing it. We'll see if anybody can get to 6. Well, we'll see. They're getting close. Once you put your 6th on, you have to take your hands off and let it just be, oh no. You're so close, Maya. Oh. Okay, Maya, if you can, oh. Okay, I'm gonna set my timer for 1 more minute. We'll see if anyone can get it in that time. If not, we're gonna have to move on. But that's not as easy as it looks, huh? You think Carlos can do this? Okay, my timer is set for 1 minute. Let's see if anyone can do it. Oh no, Maya, you were so close. Got about 30 seconds. Oh. 15 seconds. Oh, that was long enough. Okay, Maya wins. Maya wins. That was long enough. Good job. Okay. Here you go. That's okay. It doesn't matter. You guys can throw your popsicle sticks away, but put the dice on top, okay? So before you guys go back to your seats, I want to ask you what you think the trick is to that game. What tricks would help people to play that game? Having a steady body. Okay, you just have to be really steady. Having what? Oh, having your stick flat. Yeah. Anything else? Patience. Okay, so the right position. Yeah, so you have to go nice and steady and still and patient, right? Okay, you guys can sit down. Thank you for playing. You did a very good job. So, as these guys realized, in order to get even close to winning this game, they had to be very still, they had to be very focused, and they had to be very patient. And a lot of these things are true for Advent too. These things are not very easy to do, right? Does anyone think they're a super patient person? Some of us more than others maybe, but most of us, I think, struggle with patience sometimes, right? You guys, good. I'm glad. I'm glad patience is a virtue for you. A lot of us struggle with patience. Advent is all about being still and quiet and focused and patient. Has anyone seen anything about Christmas in the stores yet? Raise your hand if you've seen Christmas stuff in the stores. Yes, I have too. I think I told you guys last time we were together that I tried to find more fall things, fall snacks, and all I could find were Christmas things. So our world today is not very good at waiting, right? We like to jump ahead to the next thing really fast. Halloween wasn't even here yet, and we already jumped ahead to Christmas, right? We're not very good at being patient. Advent is a really awesome time because it's a time to wait for Christmas. It's not Christmas yet. We're preparing for Christmas. But this isn't easy to do in our world because our world jumps way over Advent and goes right to Christmas. But Advent is not the same as Christmas. It's getting ready for Christmas. I have another kind of example here, but I need to know who in the room really loves chocolate. Who in the room really, really loves chocolate? Okay. I think the most excited person is Kennedy. So Kennedy, I'm going to ask you, if I were to give you these and put them in front of you and say you can't touch them until after we're done here tonight, would that be really hard? No? Well, you're just really patient then, apparently. I'll do that. You can have one because you've raised your hand and volunteered. But how many people, those people who really love chocolate, if I put these in front of you, how many of you it would be really, really hard for you to not eat this until we were done? Oh, some of the adults are admitting it too. That's good. That's good. So, patience makes everything better though, right? How many of you would think that if you waited, if I made you wait, I put this in front of you, but I made you wait until the end, would this taste better at the end of the gathering than it would if you just jumped to eat it right away? It would taste better at the end. Okay, some people agree with that. If you're waiting for something, usually it tastes better after you wait, right? You build up your anticipation. How many of you really wanted something last Christmas and then you ended up getting it, but you had to wait a really long time for it? Was it even better after you had to wait for it and wait for it and wait for it? Yeah, okay, a couple people admit that. Things are better when we have to wait for them and we build up our anticipation, right? We end up finding more joy in Christmas when we wait for it and build up our anticipation. Has anybody been on a road trip before? A couple people? Do you guys have games you like to play on road trips? What are some of your favorite games to play on road trips? Okay, let's see what the Baddock family says. What's your favorite thing to do on a road trip?
Play the game Who Can Watch the Movie the Longest.
Who can watch the movie the longest? That's a good one. Okay. AJ, did you have something?
Sure. Like I Spy, I guess.
I Spy, okay. Anybody else have something unique and fun, Logan?
Farming Simulator.
Farming simulator, okay, you can take, see this is different from when I was, going on a road trip when I was younger. We didn't have stuff like that to take in the car. You had to do like I Spy and stuff like that. Okay, one other person. What's your favorite thing to do on a road trip?
I like to play Smash Bros.
Oh, there's another one, Smash Bros. There you go. So you make the most out of your car trip, right? You make the journey fun. It's not just about getting where you're going. You actually have fun on your journey, right? That's the same thing with Advent. Advent is, in itself, it's really awesome. It's not just about, oh, Christmas is almost here. That's true. But Advent itself is really awesome. I'm going to let you guys pause for a second here and chat about a question. And if you're alone at your table, feel free to go join another table, even if it's not your same color group. How have you experienced greater joy from waiting and being patient than when you got something that you wanted right away? So parents, you might have to give your kids an example or kind of reword this, but how have you experienced greater joy yourself from waiting for something rather than it just being given to you right away? So take a few minutes and talk about that. So I have to tell you guys, there were a couple of times when I was younger and I would ask for something for Christmas, and then I didn't really use it very much after I got it. So I was cleaning out my parents' house probably about a month ago, and I found all these things in my room at my parents' house that I had wanted so badly for Christmas, like so badly for Christmas, and then I barely used them, and they're just taking up space in my parents' house right now, and I felt so bad. I didn't feel bad when I was a kid. I just wanted those things, right? But now I feel so bad that I asked for those things because I wanted them so bad, but I never really used them, and they never really brought me joy as much as I wanted them. Has anyone else ever had that experience? You wanted something really bad, and then you never actually ended up using it? Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but I definitely have had that experience before. That's what happens when we forget about the real meaning of Christmas. That's what happens when we skip over Advent and we just go right to Christmas. It ends up losing a lot of its meaning, and we end up feeling kind of empty inside. We get all these things that maybe we want, but they don't actually leave us feeling joyful or happy or fulfilled inside. And maybe they just end up sitting in our closet. That's what happens when we forget about the real meaning of Christmas. And that's really easy to do in our world today because we skip over Advent. St. Paul said something in one of his letters that I would like to read to you guys because it really encourages us to live out Advent, even though the world doesn't really live out Advent. St. Paul said this. He said, "Do not conform yourselves to this age, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and pleasing and perfect." That first part is the important part. Don't conform to this world. It's really hard to live differently from the people around us, right? It's really hard not just to do what everybody else is doing. But what we're kind of challenging everybody today to do is to live a little differently the next month. Try to wait for Christmas. And we're not just going to tell you to do that and then not give you any ideas. The reason that we invited you here tonight is to actually give you some ideas on how to live Advent and not jump ahead right to Christmas. So I have a couple practical ideas for you, and then we're actually going to get up and go to a couple different stations. So some practical things on how to live Advent instead of jumping to Christmas. Spend more time in prayer. Take more time for silence. Maybe add something to your family prayer time that you haven't done for the rest of the year. Try to add something, or maybe take something away for more silent time, right? Go to confession. Confession cleans out our soul and makes room for Jesus. What do you do when you're inviting somebody over to your house? Do you clean your house? Do you help your parents clean your house? Hopefully. No. Well, maybe next time you have people over your house, maybe you can help your parents to clean your house. When we invite Jesus into our lives, we have to clean out our own house and make sure it's ready for him. And that's what confession does, right? There's actually going to be an opportunity the next time we meet on a Sunday to go to confession. So if you come that day, you can kind of take care of that cleaning out your house. We're going to have confession as part of that. The last part is to focus on charity, serving others and giving to others. Christmas is about giving, right? We want to take some time to give to other people. And we're actually going to encourage you to do that as small groups of families here as a parish. We were contacted by Good Shepherd Home, and we were asked if we could provide some gift bags for the residents there. Hopefully on the way in you picked up a paper that talks about what they need as gifts at Good Shepherd Home. And what we're going to ask families to do, if you're willing, is to chip in with other families and try to create one of these gift bags over the next few weeks. There are items on there that they would appreciate being in the gift bags. And if we're pairing up small groups, that means that you probably have around 10 families to kind of do this together with, so you don't have to provide all of those items yourself. I know not everybody in your small group is here right now, but we can contact them over the next few weeks to see if they want to pitch in too. What I'm going to do now is give you some time, about 5 minutes or so, to jump in with the other people that are here. who are in the groups that, as you see on those sheets, you would be paired with to create these gift bags. Talk with them, see if you can come up with a plan, which family might want to provide which items, who wants to get a gift bag, that kind of thing. And then there's also a date on there when you can bring it back so that we can get it to Good Shepherd Home. So those who are here now, if you want to kind of mosey together to be able to chat with each other and chat about how you might break up those items so that you can create one of these gift bags for one of the residents at Good Shepherd. And I'll kind of walk around in case you have any questions, but feel free to move now to talk to the other families in your group. Okay, yeah, don't worry. Okay, we'll take about 4 more minutes if you need to kind of work this out for now. These bags don't have to be completely finished until the next Sunday that we meet, so no worries if you don't have a full plan right away. Okay, about 1 more minute, then we'll move on to our next activity. Some of your papers as an example, actually just one of them. One that says Advent Covenant, I think. This one. I'll give it right back. Okay, so as we move on to our next activity, if you guys can find, hopefully you picked up at the beginning, one side of the paper says simple ways to make the most of Advent, and the other side says an Advent family covenant. If you can find that paper. What we're going to prepare to do is create an Advent family covenant. Now, this is a good opportunity for review also. Can anyone tell me what a covenant is? Let's see, anybody who hasn't, we'll come over here. What's a covenant?
A promise.
A really strong promise, right? Because we talked last time about how covenants really can't be broken, at least not on God's end, right? So covenants are really strong promises, right? It's a little bit more than just a contract with somebody. It's a strong promise. So you're going to create an Advent family covenant for yourself. This is a promise from your family to God about how you're going to celebrate Advent and try not to jump right into Christmas. Before you create your covenant, we're going to give you some ideas. So you'll see on the flip side of that covenant, you'll see some simple ways to make the most of Advent. It talks about Bible promise stars, which is something you might have done at home. If not, you're actually going to get a chance to do it here. It talks about waiting to decorate your tree, or at least waiting to turn the lights on your tree on until after Advent is done and we've actually reached Christmas. It talks about, again, waiting to decorate a little bit longer, placing candles in your windows, making Sunday night during Advent a family story time, looking back on the promises that God has made. Maybe choosing, instead of a secret Santa, maybe you choose someone to be a secret saint too, where you do kind things for them without them knowing, kind of like a secret Santa, but a little more creative. Praying for everyone on your Christmas card list as you're writing Christmas cards. I think that's a really cool idea. Reading the Christmas story as it's found in Luke's gospel as you light your Christmas tree. All of these are cool ideas. Then you'll see on the side, it talks about special activities. An Advent blessing and prayer, an Advent manger sacrifice activity, and a birthday party for Jesus. These are all activities that you're actually going to get a chance to look a little bit more into today, because as you might have seen as you came in, we opened up these garage doors here in the back and we have some tables set up. Our catechists are going to be in the back, and they're going to be showing you how to do some of these fun activities. Some of them involve crafts, some of them involve a prayer service, some of them are just a fun birthday party that you get to prepare for the whole time during Advent, which is pretty cool. So in a moment here, I'm going to invite everyone to get up and kind of mosey outside in the hallway there by each of the tables. There's one station in the library. Just kind of visit each of the stations, get more information, and then decide, based on all those activities and all the ideas on this sheet, what you would like to do for your family during Advent this year. And then once everyone is back in their seats, we're going to write our Advent family covenants together. So the Advent blessings and prayers station is Eileen Schreiner right here. She's at the first table. One thing I do want to mention about that table also is that there is a sign-up sheet there for families who would like to light the candles on the Advent wreath during Mass. We would really encourage you to sign up for one of those. You get to light the Advent candles during Mass. So Eileen will show you where you can sign up for that. Then the next station here in the middle is a bit of a crafty one. Jill is going to be at that table, and that one is the Advent manger sacrifice activity. She'll tell you more about that. Mary is at this third table, and she's going to walk you through how to do the Advent promise stars if you haven't done that yet at home. And then Amber is in the library. I don't know if she can hear us or not, but she's in the library, and they have information on how you can have a really fun birthday party for Jesus and lead up to it all the way through Advent. So, that being said, let's take about 15 to 20 minutes just to kind of walk around. We'll definitely want to be back in here no later than 1:45, but I'll try to make some announcements about when it's getting close. So take your time, kind of walk from station to station, see what they're all about, and consider what you want to do with your family.